friends, thanks for joining us. I'm Abby, and today we're going to talk about nutrition. My family has a farm where we milk about 1,000 cows, but I'm also a registered dietitian. Do you know what a registered dietitian is? So a registered dietitian is someone that helps people learn about foods, how they're healthy for you, and what foods to choose for your body so that you can stay healthy and have energy to learn and have fun and go about your day. So in our lesson about nutrition, we're going to learn about dairy and how it is great for your body to give you energy and fuel for your day, as well as other food groups that are important too. We're going to talk about MyPlate and how it helps us learn about those food groups. But first, we're going to have a little fun because physical activity is another really important part to staying healthy. And I have a fun way to actually do that by doing yoga. Have you guys ever done yoga before? Yeah, some people might think yoga's not moving around and having fun, but our body has bones and muscles that need to be stretched as well as providing fuel so they can grow big and strong. So let's get started. So friends, we're going to do a yoga pose called the cow pose. I thought it'd be really fun since we're learning about dairy to continue that theme while we're learning about how important physical activity is. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to sit with your legs crossed. I like to call it crisscross applesauce. And yoga is all about relaxing and breathing and stretching your bones and muscles. Because remember, we have 206 bones, and even though it's important to have dairy, it's also important to exercise. So the first thing you're going to do is we're going to close our eyes and try to feel very peaceful. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths, okay? Here we go. You can count with me. 1, 2, 3. And now before you open your eyes, we're going to pretend that we're cows. So when you open your eyes, you're going to pretend that your hands are your cow hooves and you have your legs as your cow hooves and that you're a cow. All right, here we go. Look at all those cows out there. Hi, cow friends. So now that we're all cows, we're actually called a herd. So the first thing we're going to do is we want our herd to stretch out our bodies, okay? Because even our cows at home in the barn, they like to stretch a lot. When they stand up or when they go to the parlor or when they're eating, they'll stretch out. So even our cows stretch. So here we go. We're going to get on all 4 legs because remember, we're cows now and cows have 4 legs. I even wore my cow socks to get the full effect here. So now the first part of our pose is we're going to stretch out our back. So we're going to go ahead and arch our back all the way up and all the way back down. And you want to remember to do this slowly. It's not about speed because stretching should be slow so that you don't hurt your muscles. We'll do that one more time. Stretch all the way up and all the way back down. In the next part, we're going to stretch out our entire top half of our body, our back, our neck, and our head and our arms by slowly putting our back part of our body down on our legs and reach like you're reaching towards the end of our mat or reaching outward. You don't have to have a mat. And you want to just stay here for a second to allow that stretch to just get a little deeper, and you probably can start feeling this. You guys are probably more flexible than me, so you might have to stay here a little longer to get a really good stretch. And then all the way back up. And you can actually do that as many times as you want, but we're going to go into the last part of our cow pose. And that's doing a little bit of balancing, which is really exciting and important for our body. So we're going to wave to our herd out there. So I'm going to hold up one hoof, and then I'm also going to hold out the back of my other hoof, and then I'm going to wave and go moo, because that's how our cows say hello, right? They say moo, moo. And you want to hold this a little bit, and you can kind of feel it. You're like, whoa, I'm a little wobbly, but that's good. That's part of learning balance for your body. And you guys might think this is a little silly, but it's also important to have fun and be silly, so I'm okay with that. So now we're going to do the other side. Here we go. I do it one at a time. I usually put this front one up first and then do the back one, because that helps me know if I'm going to be able to balance it. And then I'm going to wave. Moo! Good job. I want to hear all those good moos out there. And then bring it back down. All right, friends, so that was our cow pose. I hope you guys feel like you got a really good stretch in, because remember, stretching our body and taking a minute to be still is very important. And so is nutrition. So I'm gonna see you guys in the kitchen, because we're gonna make a really fun snack with cheese and talk about how healthy foods can help fuel us for our day. Welcome to my kitchen. So we're gonna make a snack today, but first I wanna talk to you about feeding our bodies and giving it energy so that we can learn, have fun, and so our bodies can grow big and strong. So does anybody know why milk is so good for us? Yeah, because it helps our bones and muscles. So I have my friend Annabelle that's gonna help me talk to you about where milk comes from. Annabelle is my stuffed cow. Everybody say hi, Annabelle. Yeah, so our cows actually have what we call an udder. It sits between their legs in the back on their belly. And their udders produce milk, and the farmers have to take really good care of them. They have to provide them food and water so that they can produce milk, and then we take them into the milking parlor to milk them. And then after the milk leaves the farm, it goes to different places to make things like cheese, which we'll be using in our snack today, or milk and yogurt and other products. So milk is really, really good for us because it has things we call nutrients, which are things found in food that help our bodies grow big and strong and have energy to learn and play like we talked about. Certain words you might hear when you're talking about food that are those nutrients are things like vitamins and minerals, or protein, that might be a familiar one to you guys, or even fat and carbohydrates. Those might seem like big words, but they're very important when we're talking about finding food that's healthy for us. I have a really cool trick so that you can remember what foods you should put on your plate so that you're eating healthy foods. This is called a MyPlate. Have you ever heard of a MyPlate before? Yeah, so this is just an example of what your plate should look like when you're picking out your foods. So we want to have fruits and vegetables on our plate. We want to have protein, so these could be things like dairy or different meats like chicken or beef. And then grains are really important because, again, they provide those things like vitamins and minerals, which we need for our body. And then, of course, dairy. Dairy is really great because sometimes it can count as your protein as well as your dairy. Now, today's snack isn't actually going to look like a plate, but you'll see when we're talking about our ingredients that we're meeting all of these different food groups that we talked about. All right, so let's get started with our snack. Now, the first thing you're gonna wanna do is wash your hands, which I have already done, because whenever you're working with food, you wanna make sure you stay super clean. All right, so here we go. We're gonna make a cheese hummus wrap. They're so delicious. Does anybody know what a wrap is? It's just another way to make a sandwich, and we're gonna be using a tortilla today for our wrap. And then I also have hummus, cucumbers, and cheese. So we talked about our MyPlate and including all those food groups so that we're having a healthy snack to give our body energy. And we have a lot of those food groups here. We have our dairy and our protein, our grains, and even a little more protein in our hummus, as well as a vegetable. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do to make our cheese hummus wrap is we have to have something for our cheese and our cucumbers to stick to. So I actually like to use a spoon to put my hummus on my wrap because I'll know the perfect amount, 1 spoonful to put on my hummus, and the back of my spoon is a great way to spread my hummus all around. And you can use different kinds of hummus if you want. I just have a plain hummus today, and I'm gonna put my spoon back. The next thing we're gonna put on is our cheese. Now I have sliced cheddar cheese, but you can use your favorite cheese if you want. You could use mozzarella or provolone. You could even use string cheese if you want, or shredded cheese. I'm actually just gonna break up my cheese a little bit so it fits right. You wanna keep everything right in the center of your wrap. So when you roll it up, it rolls up pretty easy. All right, so the next thing we're gonna put on, and it's our very last ingredient, is our vegetable, our cucumber. So I actually went ahead and sliced these in half, but make sure when you guys are doing this at home, you have an adult do the slicing part for you. And you can even use a veggie peeler to make fun designs on the outside of your cucumbers if you want, little stripes. But I love the peel on my cucumber, so I left it right in there. Okay, so the last thing you're gonna wanna do, and it's a little tricky, so you have to be patient with yourselves, is you wanna roll it up. And it can be a little messy, but that's okay, because it'll still be delicious. You wanna fold in the ends like this, and then kind of use some of your fingers to keep your ingredients in there, but remember, our hummus is gonna make it real sticky, so it'll stay together. And then you have a perfect snack like that, and you can just pick it up and take a bite. Super delicious. Or you can rip it in half and go ahead and enjoy. So delicious. I love all the flavors that our different food groups from our MyPlate bring to this snack. Now, remember, I want to hear from you guys thinking about what we learned from our MyPlate and even physical activity and all of our great food groups and nutrients that we want to have in our foods that we pick for our bodies. I want to know in the comments, what are some of your favorite foods you like to eat to make sure you're getting in your MyPlate every day, including your dairy, your fruits and veggies, your grains, and your protein. Bye, friends.